Welcome back to Fourth and Pain, the only pro wrestling and pro football show to be hosted by an NFL player and a weight loss champion. Redskins defensive end Adam Carriker is with me.
I can't wait to get back on the field. I can't wait to put opposing quarterbacks in the Hall of Pain. That's what I do. Just like Mark Henry, I'm bent on destruction and bringing the fourth and pain.
That is the world's strongest man, at least in Ashburn. Adam Carriker there at Adam Carriker 94. Former wrestling announcer, weight loss champion Chuck Carroll here at the Chuck Carroll with 2 R's and 2 L's. Adam, let's talk a little bit about some wrestling. A big, huge, humongous, ginormous extravaganza last Monday night on Raw. We're going to start with the most popular wrestler on the WWE roster, talking about Goatface.
Fandango?
Not
Brad Maddox?
Not quite Brad Maddox, not quite Fandango.
Three-man band?
Fandango a close second, but we're talking about Daniel Bryan, who was put to the test by one Brad Maddox, forced to wrestle 3 matches against Jack Swagger, Antonio Cesaro, and then Ryback. Ryback winds up putting him through a table. This guy's getting put through the gauntlet, isn't he?
It's interesting to me because it's like they feel they have to prove Daniel Bryan to the fans to be in the headline match at SummerSlam, but the fans are the one that put him in there. The fans are the one doing yes every Monday night on Raw. And it's interesting, I've even seen people start to do it on SmackDown a little bit, or on Impact, even though that's an entirely different show. I've seen a few yeses out there. So I think the guy is over with the fans. I think this is going to help him get over even more because he's a little bit smaller and so on and so forth. So they're trying to really pump him up in his prestige, but I think he's already there in the fans' eyes.
The interesting part to me about Monday night was not only the fact that it ends with Ryback putting him through the table, but then John Cena comes out and makes the save. And of course, Cena and Ryback have had their feud there. Cena demands the tables match with Ryback, but we never see that. And then right as the show's going off the air, Vince McMahon goes and talks with Brad Maddox, and they set up Kane versus Daniel Bryan next Monday. Well, Monday night on Raw, head-to-head best friends.
Which match are you more excited about? Because I'm assuming Ryback versus Cena is going to be on Monday Night Raw, the upcoming one. So are you more excited about Cena versus Ryback for the umpteenth time, or the best friends Kane and Daniel Bryan going at it?
Oh, Kane and Daniel Bryan, hands down, man. There's not even a question there. Very curious to see how they play this one out.
I completely agree. I think Ryback has kind of been obliterated at this point, and we've seen that before. I can't wait to see how Daniel Bryan and Kane go at it. I'm kind of hoping Kane goes back to his dark side. I don't really like him as a babyface. He needs to go back to being a heel and setting people on fire. He could set that beard on fire. I think that would be awesome.
Talk at WWE with Adam Carriker, Redskins defensive end. I am Chuck Carroll. Just a couple of minutes from now, we're going to be setting up, Adam, I do believe your defensive NFL roster made entirely of WWE wrestlers. But for now, let's continue with the WWE analysis. CM Punk last Monday night comes to the ring, calls out Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman. Neither one of them show, but Paul Heyman does via satellite. A match set up, official now, Lesnar versus Punk at SummerSlam. Tell me you're looking forward to this one.
First of all, I love watching these two guys battle on the mic. I actually hated when Heyman was with Punk, because he was taking away what Punk does best, which is the mic in his hand, the pipe bombs that he drops. Now they're going at each other on the mic, and then in the ring, you've got Lesnar versus CM Punk, 2 of the best in the ring. This is the perfect matchup all the way around.
And real quickly before we move on, Mark Henry calls out the Shield once again, and this is something I didn't see coming. I thought that the Usos were going to fall by the wayside, but no, they come out as Mark Henry's getting beaten down by all 3 members of the Shield, and they make the save, and then the Usos and Mark Henry stand tall in the ring, which I thought, that's kind of an interesting pairing.
Very interesting. I don't really like Mark Henry as a babyface. He needs to be angry. He needs to be the world's angriest, strongest man. The Usos, I love the Usos. I love that dance they do. I know it's something to do with their tribe. I don't know exactly what it is, but I just love watching it.
Oh, man. Well, they're fun to watch. Let's see where they go. I would love to see those guys get a push. They come from long lineage. They're related to The Rock, and actually, here's a little insight for you. They're actually related to Roman Reigns of the Shield. So, how about that?
But I did not know that.
Last week, was it last week? A couple weeks ago? I don't know. At some point,
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
you came out after Dustin Raymond, our writer at fourthandpain.com, posted a unsolicited fantasy football article. He made up an entire NFL offense made of just WWE wrestlers, and you did the same. And so you came out, you've got CM Punk as your quarterback, you've got Vince McMahon as your head coach, Zeb Coulter, your offensive coordinator, so on and so forth. And now, with the offense set, let's take a look at your defense.
Here's my WWE defense. Of course, it's a 3-4 defense. We're going to start at the right defensive end with a guy who played defensive tackle at the University of Miami in a 4-3. Now he's going to move to the right end. You want your right end in a 3-4 to be the more athletic, to be the quicker, the more agile one. So The Rock is the right defensive end. At nose guard, you've got the Beast. Well, the Beast is my left end, but also a beast, a behemoth, one of the strongest men in the WWE, if not the strongest. You could argue with Mark Henry as Ryback as my nose guard, 295, rock solid nose guard. This D-line is sick, by the way. That left end is the beast. Your left end, you want him to be the strongest, the most good-looking, the best smelling, and you want him to be the beast of the defensive line because that's where teams like to run. Teams are right-handed, so they like to run to their right, which is the defense's left. So I've got Brock Lesnar as my left defensive end. My outside linebackers, I've got Triple H. I got the long-haired Triple H, the long-haired version, the Clay Matthews. I see him as that outside pass rusher, just like Clay Matthews. The other outside guy, I got Randy Orton. He's a perfect size, about 6'4", 240, make a great pass rushing guy. Got length, he's tall. I would imagine with speed, being able to bang, get around the corner. In the middle, you got the captain of the defense. You got, I don't know if London would like this, but you got the London Fletcher of the defense and John Cena. He's the face of WWE. He's the captain of the defense. The other guy in the middle, big old, stocky, burly, likes to fight, likes to hit people. Sheamus is my other inside middle linebacker. At free safety, I've got Chris Jericho. Nobody's going to miss him out there. He's going to be giving away coverages with his bright Christmas light jacket on. But the guy's athletic. The guy's been doing it forever. I imagine he can convert to a football field pretty well. Strong safety, you got 6 foot 230. I imagine Rob Van Dam just flying around, hitting people, leapfrogging people, jumping over, just nailing people, almost like a LaRon Landry did when he was here in D.C. for a time. At one corner, you got the guy who would cover the quick Wes Welker slot type guys in Sin Cara. Now, he's not going to cover a tall guy because he's shorter, but he can cover those little quick guys. As covering the tall guys, my other corner, I've got the show-off, the guy who can talk smack, the guy who can run his mouth against any of those receivers who everyone knows like to talk trash, Mr. Dolph Ziggler. Now I've gone him a little bit farther. I got a long snapper and a guy who seems to always have his head between his legs, Brad Maddox, so he's my long snapper. The punter, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I got three-man band. You can rotate those three idiots there. Then the defensive coordinator, a guy who's always running his mouth, the guy who's always talking smack, Paul Heyman, would make a perfect defensive coordinator.
I like it.
I got some honorable mentions. Guys I love but couldn't quite make the team. Damian Sandow, The Miz, Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns, and Curtis Axel. A lot of those guys played football. A lot of those guys are football fanatics. But just like in the NFL, there's a whole lot of talented guys that can't make teams that are walking the streets. These guys are good, but they're not quite good enough for my defense.
All right. I like your roster. I took some notes while you were laying that out. And the first thing that I really have to say is London is John Cena. I don't know. I think that Ryan Kerrigan is John Cena. Okay, wholesome, drink your milk, take your vitamins, the new age, kind of over with the kids, Hulk Hogan. Love RVD at safety. I wonder if he could even play linebacker a little bit if he had a little more size to him.
Little smallish, but yeah, I like that.
Yeah, but I like him at safety. Sin Cara doing double duty, not just a special teams return guy. He's also going to be one of your corners, huh? You're working this guy.
Hey, man, that's what Niles Paul's a tight end, and he's a return guy for us now. 230, and he's returning kicks, and then he's blocking people, catching touchdowns.
Touche. And Dolph at the opposite corner. I could see him also playing a little safety. He may be a little bit smallish there, not strong enough, but I see him kind of at the corner. Does he have the ups? I've never really seen him jump. Can he?
Well, he doesn't really have to jump because he'd be a taller corner. I had originally had him at safety, but then I didn't want to move a 230-pound Van Dam to corner, and then Jericho outweighs Dolph Ziggler as well. Plus, he's the show off. He's gonna talk trash to those receivers, so he's perfect. I knew Fletcher and Cena would be interesting. It's not the way they look. You're right. Cena's a lot more like Kerrigan in the way he looks and acts. But he's the captain of the WWE. He'd be the captain of the defense, just like Leonard Fletcher.
And then Brock Lesnar finally making an NFL
The Beast!
roster. So
Just like me, left defensive end, baby.
So we got all of those names, the entire roster posted for you at fourthandpain.com. Tweet us your roster at fourthandpain. Weight loss champion Chuck Carroll here with your weight loss tip of the week, and that is reach for that cup of coffee. Now, I'm not talking about a cup of coffee with cream or sugar or anything fancy pants from one of those barista type people. I'm talking about simple black coffee because caffeine is a stimulant. It makes you feel more alert, more active. You'll go to the gym. You'll burn more calories. Not only that, it can help stimulate your metabolism, which also helps to burn those calories. And get this. In the mid-afternoon and evening, you drink a cup of coffee. It's an appetite suppressant. No more late-night snacking. So don't feel bad. Reach for that cup of coffee, and you too can be a weight loss champion.